Thank you so much, Gaurav, for your time. So, this is one of our firm kind initiative where we are reaching out to the professionals like you who have grown so far, who have experience of multiple industries. So, basically, the idea is to pass on the learnings to the young professionals who just started their career in the finance and the professionals who are approaching the leadership position and how they need to shift their gears to reach the next ladder of the position. So basically, the idea of this discussion is to pass on the learnings or to inspire the young professionals. So thank you so much for joining us in this great initiative.
Uh, First of all, I want to give thanks to the SW team to invite me here and asking me my thoughts, how to give advice to the young professionals, how to accelerate their career growth. And special thanks to you, Mr. Jatin, to invite me here.
So let's start with your journey first, right? So can you please as you have a vast experience of more than 2 decades, so can you please take us through your journey, right, in your initial days and what initially attracted you to the world of finance and how did you pursue this chartered accountancy course?
Okay, so it's a very detailed question you asked. So, nobody, to be very honest, nobody wants to be a chartered accountant in their childhood. So, as same, I want to be a pilot or engineer, but the circumstances bring me into the finance field, and I'm doing great. Thanks to the God for this. How the whole story started, that in the old days, in 10th marks decided which stream you have to select it.
Correct.
So that time there was no counseling was provided in our school. So as I'm got the highest marks in 10th, my teacher wants me to put into the science. But I took advice from one of my maths teacher that is science is good for me. He said that science is good, but it has a cost factor. You may need to spend more money in the
Right.
engineering, and then in the science you need a more cost, like buying some equipment or other things. But
Right.
on the other side, the commerce is the cheap course, I would say, and then has a great results. So that is the advice which bring me to the commerce. I said, okay, I don't have money, I will go to the commerce course, and we'll figure it out later on. So after 11, 12, I passed with a good percentage. And then after 12th, I did NCC in the Navy, and I was going to apply for the pilot training. That time I came to know that PCM is required to go into the pilot. So that was the dream was little shaken. But as life is goes on, I joined BCom honors regular course. While doing the BCom honors, I already started my coaching center where I was teaching 11th and 12th grade students economics and maths. And some of my friends has joined the CA. And whenever I
Okay.
talk to them, they are really struggling with the CA. So their foundation was not cracked on the first time. They are doing second or third time. So I thought I have no plan to do CA at that point of time. I was busy with my coaching center and my BCom honors.
Okay.
So when the third year goes on, still I take one coaching center at the cost accountancy. That time I again take advice about the CA. Shall I do the CA now? Then everybody was talking about the scary percentage of the CA, that it's very difficult to crack down. When you don't have time, you cannot crack it.
Correct.
You need to give your 100% devotion. And I don't want to do the hit and trial method. So I stay away from myself from the CA course. So it was third year gone on. That time I thought, let me start some corporate jobs or some. So I have given almost around 40 to 50 interviews in the call center. There was a boom of call center that moment. And fortunately or unfortunately, I don't have a word to choose here. I did not selected in any of the interview because of my bad English that point of time. So that's where I say God is great, because
Correct.
when you fail somewhere, you feel there is something bigger is waiting for you. So I have started that point of time. I have then I have taken. I have started one outsourced job. One of my CA friend, Saurabh Gupta, he has advised me to join his CA firm. They have placed me into Tata Teleservices,
Okay.
and that point of time they are giving me a very handsome amount of money, 8,000 rupees per month, which is a good bucks that point of time. I started over there and started working with my initial mentors, who was Mr. Sudhir Chabra and Mr. Sumit Jain. I should take their name. They was a great mentor. I worked with them. Within a 1 month, I understood the power of chartered accountancy,
Right.
that how they are focused on. There, I met the CAs who are first time qualified. First time I meet those kind of CAs in the industries who actually clear the CA in first time. Earlier, I have a myth that nobody can clear the CA in first time. Then I asked them, many people are saying it's very difficult course. They told me, Gaurav, if you do with the dedication, you will get it clear. Still, I was thinking whether I should do CA or not. But suddenly, one new fresh chartered accountant joined the company, Tata Tele Services, and my CFO gave her that position where I used to sit, that table and chair. And they asked me to move little far because I was the outsourced employee. That was the day when I really get a kick to be a CA. I said, I'm doing the same job in the same corporate. Only the degree matters.
Correct.
And if I got a degree, I have a great potential because I was able to do what the industry's chartered accountant was doing, who is
True.
in the industry.
True.
It's just a matter of the degree and the experience.
Right.
But still, something is back of my mind that I cannot do hit and trial. So I have taken 3 months leave from my job
Okay.
and directly enter into the IPCC. That time, if you have a good score in the BCom honors, you can skip the foundation.
Right. Right.
So that was the turning point. I apply for IPCC, both group. Some people advise me do one by one. Both group doing is a risky job. I take that risk, and with the God grace, I cleared that IPCC.
Oh.
And then I never looked back in my journey. After that, I did 3 years regress training, and that 3 years is my IPCC, including my CA final, both in first attempt got clear. And again, Mr. Sudhir Chabra and Sumit Jain did a great role in that, give me that boost to do a CA. After that, with the God grace, I found myself lucky that was a subprime crisis hit in 2007, 2008. That time, the CA campus, I applied almost 1,000 plus CA was sitting in the CA campus, and only 200 people got selected. One of
Okay.
me was a lucky person,
Nice.
and I joined Tata Sons as a management trainee. So my career started with such a big organization, which gave me a boost because how you start your career, it's also give a big impact.
Correct. Correct.
So in the Tata Tele Services, I almost spent 2 years with the Tata Sons. Again, there is a myth of Delhitans. Delhiites don't want to move outside Delhi. So I'm the one of that. Even I got offer letter almost from ITC in CA campus,
Okay.
but ITC wants me to move to Chennai, some of their plant. As a Delhi person, there is a mental block. I don't want to go out of Delhi. So I said, sir, I cannot go out of Delhi. If you have something in Delhi, please let me know. ITC says, so, sorry.
That's emotional attachment to that
Yeah,
place.
yes. So it's true. When I joined the Tata Sons, I went for the induction in Bombay House, Tata Bombay House. There was Mr. Ratan Tata also inducted us, and then CFO of the Tata Sons. And then I went outside Bombay to look for the house, and then I decided I cannot live in the chawls. There is a very bad living standard is there in Mumbai for the Delhitans. Although it's a perfect for the Mumbai Heights,
Yes, I'm really.
but for Delhi, people cannot connect with that lifestyle.
Right.
So I asked them very funny question. They look at me. Do Tata has any company in Delhi where I can work? Because as a management trainee, we have little choice to choose. There's a Tata Capital, Tata. Everyone is there in the Mumbai.
Right.
So Tata Tele Services was the company which was operating in the Okhla corporate office. I asked them. They luckily give me that. So I spent 2 years in the Tata Tele Service again in the Delhi. Then I was doing the telecom sector. So I decided to move to go into first leader. Like Bharti Airtel was the first leader in the telecom sector, doing very well.
Right.
So I joined Bharti Airtel. I changed Tata, and then Bharti Airtel again gave me a great flavor. And then after that, I worked with another listed company, GMR Airports. So I worked
Okay.
3 listed company in India.
Okay.
After that, I want to take a full responsibility of the profit and loss account because Bharti Airtel is very difficult to take the full P&L responsibility until unless you become CFO there. So I moved out of India in 2008, and over the period of time, I when you are out of India, I changed many hierarchy in 5 to 7 years, from the finance head to finance controller, to the senior manager to general manager to the vice president, and then CFO to CEO. So all this growth, I got it. because I was passionate about it. And then I carry the tag of CFO for 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
Then after some point of time, it's early to my career, but I decided to be a CEO. So even I posted on LinkedIn in 2021, I still remember that my New Year resolution is to be a CEO in next 2 years.
Oh.
So that post read by my CEO that time, he said, Gaurav, you want to take my position? I said, boss, you have to go to be a board member or chairman some point of time. So you have to leave this position, and I aim for that. But the COVID hit in 2023, that impacted my resolution. So instead of 2 years, I got that position in 3 years' time. In 2023, I was promoted as a profit center head in my company, which is equivalent to the CEO of that country.
Okay.
So this is kind of my journey. And I reconnect myself with one of the famous movie, the Shah Rukh Khan dialogue, that which is Om Shanti Om. If you remember that,
Right.
he said that if you need किसी चीज को अगर शिद्दत से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे आपको मिलाने में लग जाती है. So it actually, then it comes in my mind that if you desire something, you have to desire very high.
Right.
If you desire very high, then definitely you will try to achieve it up to 90% level or the 100% level, and other universal will support you
Right.
to achieve that.
Right. It's a true.
So this is how I summarize my journey over the period of 20 decades in short.
Very nice. So thank you for sharing this rich and inspiring story. So you just talked about you have experience about 50 interviews and struggling with English in those initial days. So please tell me what kick and what fire you have inside which kept you keep going on during those initial days, and how did you overcome these?
That's really nice you asked me. So my grandmother used to tell me when say जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है.
Right.
And this is very powerful words. Still carry with me. Because if I fail somewhere, I don't say I did a fail. I always say it's a failed attempt, but there is something better approaching for me.
Right.
So if you lose something, doesn't mean the world is end. You have to keep going. So this powerful word, and then the ecosystem which helped me. Some of my friends helped me to go towards the CA profession, which is really kicked about it.
Right, right, right. So you also mentioned that you worked with some of the top large corporates, right? Like Tata, like Bharti, like GMR. So please share your experience. What were your biggest learnings from these large corporates, and which you want to pass on this to the young professionals?
Okay, Jitin. So it's a three corporates are totally different with each other. So let me start with the Tata. In the Tata, I say I have a two biggest learning. One is the ethical. As a Tata corporate, I learned the ethics, how to grow in the Indian scenario in the democratic world without liaising with the government department. So this is one of the great. You can still become a topmost company in India,
Right.
with your carrying your ethics. Second, as I join as a management trainee, I get the business flavor. I was lucky to be part of the launch of the CDMA business. If you still remember, CDMA is another technology than the GSM. Currently, we all are using GSM mobile sets.
Right.
But CDMA was biggest failure in India, but it comes with the mobile with SIM.
Right, right.
So I was part of both the launch in the GSM and the CDMA. When I moved to Bharti Airtel, I would say Bharti Airtel is the ocean,
Right.
and it's a technology company than the telecom company.
Correct.
And someone should be very lucky to be in a department where he can get a holistic view. Otherwise, if someone is not lucky enough, they can end up doing some particular role and some particular transaction like capex or like the payables or the receivables or any different stream. One stream itself is the voluminous there.
Right.
Some people heading the receivables, some people heading the payables, some people heading capex, or some people heading the submarine cables. So it's a different portfolio.
Each portfolio is too big in itself, so that one person cannot handle the multiple portfolios.
So again, I feel myself, God is on my side, that I join in the FP&A department, financial planning and analysis. People who don't know about it, it gives you the flavor where you have to not only crunching the numbers, you have to talk about the volumes. In the telecom sector, there is a major KPIs are the MOUs. Now
Okay.
is data,
Okay.
minute of usage. Now the data per user, and there is a ARPU. there is a these are the business acumen you will develop when you are the part of the FP&A. And FP&A department really give you a boost and give you exposure to talk with the top leaders of your industries.
Okay.
So over the period of time, when as I joined as a assistant manager, then manager, senior manager, I was fortunate to talk with the CFO, group CFO, the
Okay.
CEOs, and able to present my analysis. We do the decision making analysis, whether how many towers should be planted in any states, and what is the usage of those towers, and I got the complete P&L at front of me. So I can analyze revenue. I have to analyze revenue, cost, each and every element. I even work on the war on waste project of the Bharti Airtel, which was almost reducing the cost, which is equivalent to a company itself in any country. So I myself was working on the project to reduce the 1,000 crore cost
Okay.
per annum, because the cost of Bharti Airtel was 35,000 crores. So this, I don't want to share the numbers in this meeting. So, but this is the certain flavor which I got it. But still, I feel that I was reporting the numbers, analyzing the number in FP&A. I was making a long range plan, budgets, 10 years long range plan, but I don't have a full responsibility of P&L, how to make the numbers.
Okay.
So I decided to go to the another listed company,
Okay.
GMR Airports. I joined the GMR Airports where I can own the numbers. As of
Okay.
now, I was reporting the numbers, analyzing the numbers.
Okay.
So ultimately, to be a CFO, you have to own the financials. You have
Correct.
to own the balance sheet.
Correct.
So that flavor is very difficult to get in the Bharti Airtel until unless you are 20 plus 5 years, some good experience carrying with the HUL or such a big
Right.
company.
Right.
So GMR gave me a fantastic exposure. I joined in Delhi office, Delhi airport, but get posted in the Philippines, the
Oh,
Cebu,
okay.
Philippines. That was my first international project. Also with the my mental block of Delhitans, they don't want to leave the Delhi. My CFO of Bharti Airtel asked me, "You don't want to leave the Delhi, but you are going abroad." I said, "Yes, sir. I can go abroad because there is a more better opportunity in terms of rewards and motivation.
Right.
But within moving in the outside Delhi, you have to add up incurring the rentals and other costs, which will add up your CTC."
Correct.
So I take that bold decision. I went outside India. I take a risk with my growth career, which is going very well in the Bharti Airtel, but I want to take a risk and grow further.
Right.
So with the GMR airports, I got a full exposure of running airport. Plus, we are making there is a greenfield airport.
Okay.
So I got exposure in the EPC contracting, where you have to build a like the cost of that airport was $200 million to make a new runway, make a new terminal building. That gave me a really good exposure. And after this GMR airports, my fourth company, which is currently I'm working with, the Arise IIP.
Okay.
So in 2008, I moved from GMR airports to the Arise IIP, which is Dubai-based group. Earlier it was a joint venture with the Olam, and they are now present in the 14 countries, and I'm heading one of that their flagship country, Gabon.
Okay.
Is a West African country, a francophone country, and the lifestyle there is a totally different, and I'm handling complete P&L and balance sheet as a
Okay.
responsible.
Okay. Okay. So you moved on just to get a better exposure, or to get on the better role, or to reach at the leadership role.
Yes. So
Okay.
my always
Okay.
focus was very clear how to get the topmost position and what I need to learn, which is lacking
Correct.
behind. I
Correct.
just chase for that learning and then improve myself.
Correct. So you have covered a long journey in the finance field, right? So from finance controller to CFO and then to CEO. So please share some of your experience, that what are your biggest challenges to reach there, or to reach at that level, or encountered to be as a CEO.
So it's again that as our current professionals, as Jitin, you can correlate with this. We don't in the CA profession is kind of the distance learning course where we don't get a public speaking exposure,
Right.
where we don't get a exposure where we can do debates with our colleagues like the MBA or other universities where they promote the presentation skills.
Yes. Yes.
So over the period of time that I feel that if I am the only chartered accountant who knows the numbers, cannot speak in public, hide myself in the shadow of the CEO or my leaders, I make everything and ask somebody to present, I cannot grow.
Correct.
So I have to own what I am doing. So my learning in this is basically that we should have a we should not shy in speaking in public. We should have clarity of thoughts.
Right.
Sometimes we just speak just for the sake of speaking. It's not impactful. So when we speak, people should correlate what we are talking. They should listen to us. That is more important.
Right.
And as I mentioned that while you are working in one level, you should start behaving like for your next level which you are aim for. For example, if you're working as a student manager, you should always monitor your manager how he is behaving, because sometimes we feel our boss does not have any quality. That is every employee feels sometimes, but he has some quality. That's why he's at this position and working like that. We have to understand his behavior. So for me, when I was finance controller, I already started behaving like a CFO.
Oh,
When I was CFO, I already started behaving like a CEO in my meetings. I'm learning from with them. I'm seeing what is their reaction of that. If there any problem arise, what is the reaction of the FC? What is the reaction of the CEO? What is the reaction of the CFO? Everybody should learn that their reactions and start improving. I always listen the investor calls where I listen how CFOs are responding to the investors' questions, how CEOs are responding to the questions of the investors. All the listed companies do the investor calls, right?
right.
So this is give you the great learning. I want to share some example if you can correlate with that. Suppose a company finance controller has to report a number. He says that this year our company top line is 100 crore. We did a direct cost and indirect cost is 110 crores.
Okay.
This year we have reported 10 crores a loss. This is a finance controller version. If CFO has to speak, I would say the CFO will speak. This year we reported the numbers. We reported top line 100 crores, which is 20% higher than the last year. We reported the cost of 110 crore versus the last year 130 crores. With the cost control measures, we have reduced the cost by 20 crores. This year we reported 10 crore loss, but we are aiming for break even next year. H1 is our target to become break even, and next year we'll report the positive numbers.
Okay.
If I would say CEO has to report the same numbers, he would say this year our top line is 100 crore because we are able to serve 1000 customers versus last year 800 customers. Our product has a potential. We grow 20% year on year growth. Cost with the aggressive cost acquisition, customer acquisition cost. We are focusing on building a loyal customer base. So we spend little higher on the direct cost to acquire a new customer. This year we have a little higher cost, but with these loyal customers, next year we'll become the first positive company in the industry.
Okay.
Fastest break even we'll achieve. So I tell you the three versions. So how you speak in the corporate, it's matter. And you need to speak because we think people are watching us. Yes, people are watching us when we speak. And people who speak perfect can be taken next ladder faster. And you have to, or someone has to always speak the business language. Whether it's a FC or CFO or the CEO, it's always great to talk like this. And as you mentioned that about the CEO, I am just handling this role from last 1.5 years. So I don't have much experience because many CEOs has handling the 25 years. But with my limited experience, I would say that CEO role is very challenging. It's
Okay.
like you're walking alone, walking like a tiger alone in the forest. You are the head of your company. Many people are approaching you and looking at you. Your decision making drive the company performance because people follow your decision making.
Right.
And also you cannot be associated with any particular department. Most of the people think CEO is more closer to sales and marketing team. Some
Right.
people think they are more closer to the finance department. They listen to them and screw other departments.
Right.
But ultimately CEO has to take care of multiple internal departments. If I name it, is the HR, communication department, investor relationship department, taxation department, finance department, sales and marketing, external communication department, internal communication department. EO has to work with each one of them and give to each one of head to time.
Right.
So every day is very busy day for the CEO. Everyone wants to come into your cabin and discuss with you. You cannot say, I will give 1 hour to finance department, 10 minutes to the HR department.
Correct,
You have
correct.
to make a balance.
Balanced.
With that CEO, you also responsible for the public speaking, administration management, ministry management, and there is a community, because the community which is related near to your industry, they also need a CSR. So you need to gel with those community. Any strike or anything can hamper your business.
Right.
But these are the day-to-day things. Still, I have speak loud about it, but these are really not a challenging task for the CEO. They will manage it. More challenging task for CEOs to manage their investors, shareholders, board of directors.
Right.
They are the real people to manage for
Correct,
the CEO.
correct. So you give a very good example that these numbers are same, but three people's present it differently, right? So basically the presentation matters, which takes you to the next level,
Yes.
right? So you talk that, so Gaurav, please tell me, suppose someone is holding the CFO position for 3 to 4 years. So what extra efforts someone has to put in to break that loop and to reach that next level? So please share your experience on it.
So it's kind of the next level of the video game. So you reach up to that level. Now you have to break that level to go to the another level. First, CFO is a edge. He is having an edge because he has all numbers of the company in front of him. He knows all the volume. He knows all the rate variance. So if you remember, we have read the standard deviation in the economics. There is rate variance, volume variance. CFO understand that. So
Right.
he is the best pick for the company if the CEO has to be replaced. Only CFO is lacking that the public speaking, the focused approach. If they carry that, if they understand the numbers, they got exposure to the board of directors. So if they speak right at the right moment, like all the CEOs are speaking, they can really get that position very easily. What they need to learn further, how to, as I give the example recently, they need to talk the business language, because the board of directors need who will make the numbers,
Right.
not who will report the number.
Right.
So numbers reporting is not important, number driving is more important.
Correct. Correct. So how important is for someone to act like a CFO or CEO before they actually get the title, right? So what does that look like in their daily behavior or their daily decision making or in their personality?
So this is it's very a contradicted point if I tell this openly, that see, you should be the second person in the company where your board of director can call if your CEO is on the leave.
Correct.
So you have to get this, someone has to get that skills, that confidence in the shareholders or investors mind that the person is capable of. And then it's basically that if you desire that role, many people don't desire it. That's very true also. If you really desire to be a CEO, not only your company, some other company, you should able to start working like a shadow of your CEO. You have to do, someone has to do the business partnering in the manner that if there is any capital infusion decision is happening, equity infusion decision is happening, shareholder loan, or anywhere you have to launch a new company, new branch. Normally CEO is the who does the recommendation, but the CFO has the main data crunching major business plan he has to make, whether this decision is right or not. So it is always a collective approval, not a single approval of the CEO. So CFO has to work very closely and start behaving like it is his decision. He is giving the approval to this because he's a custodian of the money.
Right.
He's a custodian of the money. He it's like his own money. Without spending anything, you have to do the full decision making. But that decision making generally happening on the paper. CFO has to come forward and explain this. Should have a guts to explain. This is how he can behave like a CEO over the period of time.
Okay. Okay. So as a CEO, you often have to walk alone like a tiger in the forest, as you mentioned. So how did you manage that isolation that comes with the leadership position, and at the same time you have to manage or stay connected with your teams?
Yes. So I really feel this difficult in first 6 months that if I'm going for a lunch, who should be my buddy or with whom I have to spend more time. And over the period of time, I learned that I cannot be biased in one department. I have to take along all the team members. So now I have started doing the our company management meet where I have to take any decision. I take a collective opinion.
Right.
So even decision in I should say this or should not say this, I don't know. Decision is mine, but I heard everyone about the decision and I change my decision based on the right opinion also. So even any decision has to be taken in the finance department. I sometimes ask HR department whether this decision is correct or not. They feel inclusive.
Right. Right.
So every week I do one management meeting where I call all the department heads and ask them these are the activity we are going to do this month, whether it is correct or not. In this, you have to be friends with everyone and should not look like you are assigned or you will hear one department more. So
Right.
people
Right.
should not feel that okay, I neglected HR department and giving break some processes to hire someone directly. So I have to manage all the departments on the same way with this department. So although you have to sit sometimes alone in your office to do make your strategies, but this is how the life is.
Correct. So the most challenging part about the being CFO is not just to manage the finance department or a finance function, right? But at this level, you have to manage the multiple stakeholders, boards, investors, and other business partners. So can you share some experience whether navigating this relationship is was particularly a complex or it is critical? What are your thoughts around it?
So as a business head, CEO is the epicenter of anything. If business goes very well, he's
Right.
the one who get the maximum credit.
Right.
If business goes down, he's the one who will get maximum heat as well. Uh, so ultimately, in any business, there is a organic growth and there is a push growth.
Right.
So being a head of business or the person who drive the business should have that acumen
Acumen.
to see how this situation is complex or critical. So as you ask very clearly that every situation is very complex because you have to really run the business. But with your acumen that someone has to break down each and every activity into the multiple activities and try to make a tick that all the activity gets successful. So I would say that over the period of time that people know how to bring the business.
Right, right, right. I still remember that back in our times, networking was not given as much emphasis, and it was not really a part of our curriculum, right? But when someone is reaching at this position, right, so they need to connect or do networking with lot of business partners, take strategic decisions, right? What are your thoughts on the importance of networking and relationship building?
So you rightly mentioned networking. So I also believe in networking. Networking is basically the key of success. I would say that if you want to be in the top league,
Right.
up to the level of manager, senior manager, GM, networking, you can skip also. That growth come with your hard work and the smart work start also with that senior positions.
Right.
So generally some people says that CFO don't get hired, they get picked.
Correct.
So how you will get picked? If you have no network, you cannot get picked. So people in the industry who hire the CFO, the investors, shareholders, CEOs, MDs, chairman of the company hire the CFOs. You should be connected with them. Normally when we say networking, we only get network with our peer groups or our schoolmates, our college mates, our office colleagues.
Okay.
That networking helps in solving our issues or the any
Right.
business problems you face or any
Right.
tax issues you face, any accounting problem, IFRS issues or something, which you can discuss with them and take their opinion to get this resolved.
Right.
When we say the networking for growth, it's a different kind of networking where you have to indulge in the discussions to share your opinion to the world, which people are reading. We think who will read or what we are saying, but there's a people who is reading what we are saying, what we are
Right.
writing. For the growth networking is to send a simple message to Mr. Anil Ambani or the Mukesh Ambani or Mr. Ratan Tata. How are you? I really passionate about your work. They will not going to respond you, but they read your message.
Right.
Any people where if you belongs to any particular industry, because industry is very small, there is only 5-10 top companies in one particular industries. Those industry leaders should know that this is a guy, this is a person who is working in that particular company doing great, and he has that thought. You cannot call them we don't have access to call any business leaders, but through social networking media, people come to know your thoughts.
True.
So that's why networking has a two-way to solve the problems for your professional things, professional growth, and one for the accelerating your career. To
Right.
make friend, you need to be present in the networking. People should know. That's a key.
Right. Right. So, do you believe networking and business development is a skill that can be developed over a period of time, or it is more of a personality trait? If I tell about myself, I still learning on daily basis that what BD is, right? And the more you do, the more you learn from the experiences.
Correct. So yeah, networking. This is the skill which some people carry from birth. Some people needs to develop. There is no harm in that. Some people are extrovert. They speak and connect with the people very easily. You remember some people only you met once in your life, but some people you need to remember if you meet them 10 times. So it's a personal trait, can be developed and can be improvised.
Okay. So, what do you think how the role of the CFO has evolved over the years and is still continuously evolving, considering the today's global business functions beyond the traditional finance functions, right? So, what are your thoughts around it, or what's your experience around this?
So I want to start with that. I'm recently reading Gita, Bhagavad Gita. So I want to give the reference of that in the corporate world. If we see CEO as a Arjun of Mahabharata,
Okay.
then I would say that Krishna is a Sarthi as a CFO who has to keep guiding the CEO for the right making a right decisions.
Okay.
And or you can some people can see is a vice versa. CFO role is very much evolved is over the period of time. CFOs are equally responsible for the company performance. Anything goes in the company wrong or the right. It's
Right.
not only the CEO is responsible.
Right.
And you have seen many times that CFO is also go to the jail or also get the reward if
Okay.
something goes in the company, right? So CFO role is evolved in the current world because current world is not only doing the bookkeeping. You have to do the fundraising. CFO has to do the IPO, any capex infusion, any
Right.
merger and acquisition, any decision which CEO takes. CFO has to do the shadow work with him, due diligence of the company which you are buying,
Right.
or the if you are doing a demerger, the company has to demerge, going the separate legal entity. Today, any big corporate has multiple subsidiaries. Even the small companies has multiple subsidiaries. Many are listed, many are non-listed. You have to do right consolidation of the numbers. And when I was a CFO, first time I heard that my CEO or my management tell me in your KPIs, PAT performance is your one of the KPI. I get confused. I said, how the PAT performance can be my KPI? Because I'm not making
Correct.
the top line. They said, no, you have to work as a shadow of the CEO. PAT can become as a not only resultant of the revenue growth, it can become as the reduction of the cost,
All
where the
right.
CFO can play a very strong role. Depreciation accounting also one thing which can bring or increase the PAT. Then the interest calculation, if you take the high interest rate financing for the company, your PAT can screwed up.
Right.
So you have to, so CFO has to do multiple role to control the P&L. If debtors realization is not happening, so your cost of funding, working capital will be impacted, cash flow from working capital will be impacted. So CFO role is not only limited to the bookkeeping, it is related to the, it has evolved
Right.
immensely. And with the today's world of where we are handling the mammoth level of the transactions, like if I take the example of Bharti Airtel, it has 284 million subscribers. It means the unique customers 284 million, 28 crores. And if you see today's UPI transactions, which is happening 500 million per day, there is someone who is recording it, analyzing it, and the finance background is very much important to do this.
Okay, so basically the role has evolved over the years beyond the financial numbers. So someone has to look after the other side of the business,
Yes.
which includes strategic partnering, managing the P&L, other different finance
Yes,
functions
very true.
around it.
Very true.
Okay, okay. You mentioned a very good metaphor and give a very good example, right? Where CEO is CFO is Arjun and CFO is Krishna of Mahabharat. So how do you interpret that partnership? If you think from the point of a practicing or a consultancy firm?
So practicing and consultancy firm also do a very important role in the finance functions. I take this example for the industry. When you correlate with the advisory firms, there is a people who is giving advisory, and there is a people partners who is bringing a client. There is a owner who is managing the relationship building with the corporates,
Okay.
where you have to do the advisor. So someone who is actually executing the work and someone who is giving the advice. So it has to work very effectively in the advisory firm, because one person cannot do everything. Someone has to keep guiding him. So Krishna was the Sarthi in Mahabharata,
Right, Sarthi.
who has not taken any arms and ammunition to fight,
Correct.
but he was giving a right advice
Margdarshan.
to Margdarshan. He's giving a right advice and Margdarshan to Arjun, which actually lead Pandavas to win the Mahabharata. So there is someone who is the right person to give the right advice. So CFO is the best Sarthi to the CEO.
Okay.
He's running the Rath with the right way, in the right direction, and telling Arjun to kill this person, this is a problem statement, and achieve the success.
Okay, okay. Very nicely explained. So, can you share your experience where you have to step in as a shadow CEO, or you need to lead a critical business function which is beyond the finance?
So if I say that when you CFO is the role, only function. CFO is considered as a support function role in many organizations, but it's the only function which interact with other functions on day-to-day basis. Most of the functions don't interact with each others. Like if you say finance function has to talk with HR, has to talk with communication, has to talk with sales and marketing, has to talk with communication, many other departments, like the CEO.
Okay.
CEO give instructions to someone to execute. Like if he say sales and marketing, next month we'll do a launch of the new product. The sales and marketing team will design the product and say their achievement is to make the top line. So one fantastic example came in my mind when I'm talking. When we launch a new SIM in Bharti Airtel, say that 300 rupees ARPU people has to recharge. So company will get 300 rupees as a top line when you sell recharge one SIM, correct? And that is the objective of the sales and marketing team. But to achieve that 300 ARPU to new customer, if sales and marketing team will give the customer acquisition cost 400 rupees to the distributor who is selling that SIM,
right,
ultimately 100 rupees negative is your P&L.
Right.
And then this happened when people were aggressively acquiring the customer. They're giving more commission than the top line.
Right, right.
And what is happening? People are using the SIM in 1 month. and destroying it, buying the new SIM. So we find out is a channel partner or the SIM distributor. He's opening the SIM, putting in his phone. After 1 month, throwing that SIM, again opening the SIM, because he's getting 400 against selling of 300.
Right.
So this was the biggest fraud which telecom companies has find out, because customer acquisition cost should not be higher than the
Higher
top line. And this is the analysis done by the finance team, including us, to
Okay.
see that this scheme does not work very well.
Okay.
So CFO has to work as a shadow to the CEO to guide him, because he has given the instruction to launch a new product. Whether new product is profitable or not, this is a CFO job to advise
Advise.
decision making to the CEO.
Okay. Okay. So considering the global business environment, there is a lot of buzz to set up the global capability centers in India, and lot of companies are setting up their offices in India. So do you think it will create a ample of opportunities in India in the long run, or it will flourish the Indian market? So because when you are working with the global companies, when you have a global presence, so you also need to look on the cost benefit analysis, right? And the better optimization of the resources or the team who are working under you or working with you. So what are your thoughts or experience around it?
So very valid question. I would say India is on the benefit side. We have a lots of benefit to set up the GCC in India,
Okay.
or I would say shared services in India.
Okay.
As my company also doing it, we also have a shared services in Chennai.
Okay.
What benefit comes to the world? This is the message to the world. As of now, I want to give at your forum.
Okay.
India has a young population, talented population,
Correct.
which has a passion and hunger to grow.
Right.
They are available without the looking at the time zone. If you are working in day, we are ready here to work in the night for you to solve the problem.
Right. Shift basis.
Shift basis. So
Okay.
our young generation is capable of solving any problem which is happening in the world. While you wake up, your problem is solved in India. We send you the results. Second advantage on our side is that our rupees for the exporters, it's depreciating. So if somebody is the exporting of the services business, he will get more rupees in India, and it's cheaper for the US or the UK market.
Right.
If we are the importer, it's the other way around. But when you are the exporter of the services, so all the IT company, TCS, Infosys is getting the benefit of this depreciating rupees. Even including myself, when I left India, that time dollar per rupees was 45 rupees.
Right.
45 rupees. Now it is 85. Whether my salary increase or not, I already get doubled. Right? So this is the depreciating of rupees power for the people who is working in the abroad. And this benefit goes to the foreign companies, because they need not to increase the prices for the services which they are offering. Even they can ask for discount in Indian market. For India, they are getting the remittance.
Okay.
And this strength which we am talking about, it is a continuous strength. The power of the young generation, because our median of the young generation is 30 years below, and it is keeping in the same level. So nobody has any problem to set up the shared services in India. Second, we have very stable government democracy.
Right.
So democracy also attract the good business, because that we have a full transparency in our policies.
Right.
Anybody can access anything from the outside India. All the global companies are working in India, not like in China. WhatsApp is banned. You cannot access Google. Here, everything is transparent. Any application you can fill it in online. So our media is also very open. They report everything. We also do the compliances. All the companies do the compliances in India. So Indian environment is very transparent for the foreign nationals to set up their shared services in India.
Right.
So if I summarize it, we have two major benefit. One is the young population with the talented mindset.
No
We
doubt
speak
about
English.
it. Right.
Then second is the currency. We have which is favoring the foreign nationals to set up. And third most important is cost of living. So the person who can do here in $1,000 or $2,000 per month, the cost for that same, if happening in US and UK, it's 5,000. So we are almost 3 or 4 times cheaper than the cost which is happening in the Western world.
Okay. So, what's your thought? What unique advantages does India should offer to make it more attractive to set up their GCCs in India? Or are you aware of some challenges which global companies will face while setting up their GCCs in India?
So first is the uh, this GCC concept is already started from last 10 to 15 years, where the people wants to go with the renowned name, the foreign company. So all the big work is received capturing by the Infosys, TCS, or Big Fours.
Right.
You can see that Big Fours has already set up their shared services, where the employees, the Deloitte has, EY has, all the big firms has. So now the next opportunity is the top 10 Indian firms has to capture, where they have to work with the not targeting the first top companies, but the second SMEs level or the middle scale company which wants to set up the companies in India. Because if you go with the top company, they have some mandates. They will go with the Deloitte or EY, while the who can afford them, because their cost of operating with them is little higher. So that other Indian firms are also setting up this same concept, GCC, where you can do the bookkeeping, tax filings, and recording, data center services, where we can approach the company which is below 100 crores turnover, 500 crores turnover. But if someone aims for the 10,000 crores turnover and above, they will go to the big company. So challenge-wise, Indian environment is so flexible. There is no challenge. Only the hand-holding has to happen very smoothly.
Okay. Okay. So, in what ways is technology reshaping the role of the CFO or CEO? Or do you think that it can reduce the significance of the finance role, or it will create opportunities and will run like a co-pilot for the finance team? Right. So, what's your take in technology about the finance?
So I love technology. So these days I spend less time on laptop than I used to spend more earlier. I most of the things I can handle with my phone. Earlier, I remember there was a time when we extract that report from the ERP, do the macros, doing cleaning, and then send the reports. Then Bharti Airtel, we develop a software like BI, business intelligence,
Okay.
where on the click of button, we can get the P&L, profit and loss account, balance sheet with the analytics of the last year, variance with the budget variance. That technology was evolved that time, we implemented, and it reduced over time to do the same task while we utilizing our task in analyzing the number
Okay.
instead of making the reports. Then over the period of time, we see there is a nth number of transactions happening. Any day, the millions of transactions happening.
Right.
Without technology, we cannot handle those transactions. So I compliment that technology, and all. I was a firm believer that this technology is enabling us very effectively to perform our duties.
Right.
If there is no technology, we cannot release the financials of Infosys by 7th work days, or TCS within the first or second weeks of the quarter close.
Correct.
Many organizations I have seen who is not following the technology, they really had a hard time to release their financial within 2 or 3 months even after the month year end closures.
Right. Right.
So if you see the listed companies are able to release their dates before even closing their books,
Correct.
because they are so confident that the
Upfront.
technology and then the right set of people, they are able to close their books on the right time and they can announce their results.
Right. Right.
So technology always empower you, always give you the right side of number, less error, and you are confident if the system tell you the P&L analysis, then the human tell. Some people think that they will lose job, but that's never happen. We have a limited chartered accountant, as you know. Every year we are producing very limited CAs based on the demands. But the technology is enabling us to give the right solution to the client,
Right.
to the CEO, or to the board of directors at the right moment. In today's world, people lose their patience. So I got a request in the evening that tomorrow morning I need these details. Without technology, I cannot do
Cannot
that.
happen. Right.
I,
Correct.
I have to see the SAP, ERP, take out the report, make the analysis, and I'm able to give it. And the WhatsApp world, nobody is like everybody's using it on day-to-day basis. Is also the fantastic example of technology. Everything is movable. You need not to wait for sending an email these days. Even email is fantastic example of the technology. Now the AI is coming, which is further telling us that how to make the emails or how to tell the numbers, how to analyze it.
Right.
But it is reducing over time drastically. Earlier, when I used to write a letter to the bank, it takes me 15 to 20 minutes. But if I tell my subordinate, please write it, he will type on the GPT and then get the content and tell me, boss, letter is ready, please sign it.
So it's a co-pilot
Co-pilot.
to the finance team.
It's a co-pilot to the finance team, and then it's
Okay.
a fantastic approach, and we should not shy with
And
the
it will create opportunities. It provides you more bandwidth,
more when
more bandwidth to do more work, more opportunities, and to focus on other more business related work, right?
correct.
So what innovations do you consider which is essential for any modern finance team who is working with you?
So any modern finance team is basically, you see the young people who is coming and enrolling, clearing the CA. They're already passionate. They know how to do the things faster than us. They try to solve the issues very fast, not getting into much detail. There is a flip side or there's a benefit of this.
Right.
Flip side is that maybe they in future they may not learn in detail, and then they will not get into that much depth of that issue that they need to solve in future.
Deep dive into the
Deep
subject.
dive in the subject. So my advice and my focus is always to do your hand dirty. So this is what my boss used to tell me. Sometimes
Correct.
also when I do the analysis, I do at the top level at my young age. He said, Gaurav, you need to go one level down. This level anybody can do. If you want to escalate, you have want to fast track your career, you have to always see what is driving this number. So modern finance team, I want to tell them that you want to achieve something, you have to aim for it.
Right.
Some people think that what they are doing, what they are supposed to do, they are supposed to get it. I want to elaborate that, but what you desire, you will not get it by doing what you are supposed to do it. You have to do little extra efforts. So some people tell me one example, that when we write an email, writing an email is not a great thing. But before shooting the email, you have to just relook that email. If you relook that email, even one word you change, that will be impactful. So when you deliver something, always review yourself. First become your own reviewer of your work.
Right. Right.
Instead of somebody will review your work and give the criticism or tell you something to improve, first give your best. Because when you do any task, suppose doing a task take 1 hour, reviewing that task take another 5 minutes. Even same advice I give to my children when they write their exams. I told them, you have 3 hours to write your exam. Spend always 2 or 50 minutes to write your exam, 10 minutes for the reviewing it.
Right.
Before submit your sheet, don't feel you have done it before, submit it. Spend always 10-15 minutes to review what you have done. You should be first reviewer of your own work.
Right.
And there is always a saying that when somebody tell us something to be improved, it's a criticism word. So how to handle the criticism?
Right. Right.
We have to detach the criticism from who is giving the criticism and what is the criticism is it. If we mix these two things, we always feel bad.
Correct.
We always feel bad that how this person can give me this advice. Always focus on the advice, not the person who has given it. If we take that advice and if we improve it, next time we are always a better person than before.
Right. Right.
So problem arise when we mix. Sometimes our parents give advice, sometimes our wife give advice, sometimes our colleague give advice, sometimes our friend give advice. Problem arise, we don't look at advice, we look at who has given the advice. And we lose our calm and think, how can that person give advice to us? So criticism handling is the key to improve ourselves. but focus on the improvement area or criticism.
Okay.
So modern team has to, before submit their work, has to review themselves. That is my message to the team, my whole team. Before sending anything to me to review, please review yourself, your work. So this advice not related to my team, it's related to everyone. I do the same. Before submitting something to someone, I review it thoroughly. That I don't want to keep the room to be improved something. So if something is goes out of my inbox, it is that should be the maximum work I can do. There is no need of anything I can add into this.
Right. Right.
And I always see anything, any report, not from the eye of myself, from the eye of the reader.
Correct.
So when I'm submitting
You have to
something,
think his.
So when we submit any report, we always think it's a perfect report, but it is for us perfect. We have to think
From his
the
mindset.
reader.
And from his mindset also.
Yes, you rightly pointed out. From the mindset of the reader, if that report is good, then it is considered as a good.
So, talent management, talent retention, and talent grooming is one of the most important topic for discussion and for any industry, right? So, lot of industries or every industry is facing this problem: how to manage the talent retention, how to retain it. So, how did you overcome this challenge at this level? Whether you will involve yourself, that how to resolve this problem of talent retention, their grooming. So what's your thought or experience around it?
So I would say that today's world, in the world which we are living in, where people are more enthusiastic and more desire, the high desires they live in, and they are more talented than us when we are in 10 years back. Because that was two things. We are kind of the generation which are kind of satisfied generation, but the new generation is not that satisfied. I want to tell you upfront. That is
Right.
my
Right.
learning over the period of time. If they get a good hike, 20-30%, they will immediately leave your organization and go to the other organization. That is what they actually has to do it. I would not say it is any bad in that. But I want to tell them, I want to give them this message from your broadcast that I learned over the period of time. This 30-40% gratification which we are getting today, it's a dopamine to the mind. We are getting a quick gratification for the mind, but after the 10 years, everything get matched. There is a bell curve called in the HR function. If you join a company at the higher salary, next year they will control your increments for some point of time, that they will match you with your colleagues. So it's like present value of money. All the finance professional knows.
Right.
You get the money today, you are happy, but after 10 years, your salary will get matched with your colleague. So it's a short-term gratification. To get a long-term gratification, you have to stay in one company for a longer term.
Right.
Generally, when we look at the CV, today I got one CV, I see the person in 10 years of career change 8 companies.
Okay.
That kind of CVs generally recruiters don't like. We need a stability in the career.
Correct.
Where people have spent time to learn. The company which you are leaving, if it is a good company, the good name in the market, there's a many question comes why you left this company. So my advice to the people, the team members, that changing is not a solution, staying is a solution in the company.
Right.
And for the employer, my advice is that you have to bring inclusivity in the team, where the people should feel connected with the company's objective and vision.
Okay. Okay.
What is the vision of your department or the company visions should be thorough, discuss with your team, take their opinion. They should feel connected. Also, I learned over the period of time, people don't leave company, they leave managers.
Right.
So when they leave managers, so there used to be a KRA for a manager. If the high attrition in the manager's team, he get punished sometime.
Correct.
In some of the companies, right? So manager has to be more inclusive with the team, give them a right to speak, right to learn, and right to perform. And same times for the employee should not make hurry to leave the managers, because it happens to me also. There is a point where I cannot handle the manager in my career, I thought I should leave the organization. But I show some patience. Manager also looking for change. Manager get change within 1 year. So you need not to change manager. Manager will change the company. So focus on the learning. Yes, if you are feeling that you are in the wrong place where you are not getting a right learning for the expertise, like I changed 3 companies over the period of 20 years of my journey, where I need a new set of experience. And don't change for money, because money is the short-term gratification.
Correct.
In the long run, it will get matched.
Correct.
You have to do a long-term journey and has to see the number of 1 CR in some point of time. To get that number as a finance profession, you have to break multiple levels.
Right. Right.
You cannot just get that number very quickly. So stay calm, keep learning. That is how we manage the talent in our company.
Okay. So you very nicely explained, and I also feel in my experience, so someone has to keep in his mind a long horizon if they
Long
need to reach at the leadership positions, right?
Very true.
Okay.
Without vision,
Okay.
you cannot be successful.
Right.
The vision should be there, that what we want to achieve.
Okay, right. And you talked about the inclusivity, right? Inclusivity of the employees in important decision making. So do you feel this is one of is it really works, or is it a very good example so that employees feels that they are inclusive in the important decision making rather than just looking after their finance
Correct.
pay slips?
So it's very much important. Sometimes, see, if I am very speaking very openly and frankly, sometimes manager has a decision in their mind.
Right.
When they are talking to the team what to do, he already know what to do. But still he has to spend some time with the team. I also do sometimes when I have a decision in my mind, but I still listen everybody.
Correct.
10 people in the room, I ask everyone's opinion, what you think, this. And I said, okay, raise your hand if you want to go against this decision or want to be in this decision. And obviously when you got that mandate, you say, okay, you guys are saying to do this, let's do it. They feel that is they have done it. Small example, that I decided to do the management meeting every weekly basis. So, but if I impose that weekly meeting in the morning time, 2-3 hours, people will say I'm wasting everyone's time. So I call a meeting, all the CXOs in the same room. I said, what do you think, how frequently we should meet together? Is it good to meet bi-weekly, 15 days, monthly or weekly? What do you think? Many people says, yes, there is a need, everybody sit together in the room weekly. Somebody says bi-weekly, somebody says, no, monthly is okay, why it need to sit so frequently? It's a waste of time. And I want to meet every week, but I want to hear from them. So I said, okay, let's do the opinion and do the voting, how frequently we want to meet. And when I got the mandate weekly, I said, okay, let's do meet weekly. Then after that, we'll change to bi-weekly once all the issues are resolved. So inclusivity is always important, and people get a chance to hear, they always appreciate.
Okay. So, in your view, what critical mindset or skill set that young professionals should have, or if they aspire to reach the top leadership position, so what mindset change or what skill set is required?
So I would say that everybody has professionally qualified. So there is no need of any financial updates. There is a need of financial update, of course, but to reach at the topmost position, you don't talk about the IFRS in the meeting. You don't talk about the tax laws or the clauses or these sections.
Right.
What you talk about in the room, it's come with your focused approach.
Okay.
Many people think focused means if you have a 2 task in your hand, focus means you do 1 task and do second task, how fast you can do, it's a focus. But actually focus is not that. If I elaborate more, focus is complete work, have some fun, work, have some fun. Means you should have a break between the 2 works.
Okay.
This is how your focused will improve to deliver the things.
Okay.
If we are really very serious in working in one direction, you will lose the charms and then positivity, and then sometimes our productivity goes down. Similarly, I say that we have talked about criticism, how to handle the criticism. Don't
Right.
link with the who is giving you
Giving.
the criticism.
Right.
Focus on the criticism.
Criticism or
So-
advice.
or advice. Because I also can correlate one advice I got when I was a CFO. I was talking with my CEO that what boss I need to be improved in myself. I generally go to my boss's cabins and ask them what I need to improve, so that they should not tell me at the appraisal cycle, and they should tell me before. So they told me you need to improve your communication skill. I think, what do you mean? What do you mean by the communication skill? I communicate very well. I did not understand in the first go. Then they said, no, you will understand over the period of time how you need to communicate. Telling the things to be done is not the communication. How to motivate people to do that things is communication. So if you tell your
Okay.
subordinate, please make this report by EOD, he may do it, he may not do it. But getting that report done by EOD, that's the right communication.
Right.
So how you will motivate him to complete that report by EOD, that is a right communication, not just giving the instruction. So everyone has a room of improvement. So what we learn over the period of time, if you have to really get success, you have to feel like how to improve yourself, to be focused, to be result oriented.
Right.
Should not result oriented means that focus on not on the output, focus on the outcome.
Right.
That is also very important statement. We most of the time we focus on the output,
Good.
not on the outcome. We try to make the report and send it, whether it's giving the right outcome or not. If people start focusing on outcome, not the output, they really get the stairs faster. So this is something which we have to say. You have to be really sometimes de-engage yourself with the work.
Right.
Sometimes we have to spend time after a long day with your kids, playing chess with them, singing with them, going out with them. Or sometimes if you don't have kids, going out with your wife, do the constructive discussion with your parents, have a nice discussion. It will really rewind you from the day-to-day activity. Doing right thing in the office doesn't mean that you will go up to the multiple level. You have to be a balanced person.
Okay. Okay.
Whenever you have time, you have to be more connected with the people.
Okay. So very nicely you have explained. So basically the message is you need to be a value creator, not
Yes.
just the scorekeepers.
Very true.
Right. From the outcome, you
Yes.
need to do what value I need to create or add in it.
Correct. Very true.
Okay. So please guide me or suggest me if someone need to start their career, right? Start their journey from today, right? So what would they need to do differently, right, to aspire at a leadership positions? What different they need to do?
So it's a long journey. First of all, someone should not feel that in the day one they will get a red carpet.
Right.
Generally, when we are doing CA, everybody put in our mind that once we complete the CA, one limousine will come. The red carpet will sit in the limousine and become very successful or someone. Real struggle start after the degree comes. Correct?
Correct. Correct.
Correct. You can correlate
Correlating
with
it. I am correlating.
once the degree came, it's come with the responsibility, and then you how to work on that.
Right. Right.
So as I said that people initial day it's very common that we focus on the money, how much we are getting in the initial job. Money is very important factor. Some people says that is a combination of four things. If we are able to manage those four things, we are into the right career path. First, money, obviously. What we are doing, is it passionating us? If it is related to our passion, like if somebody is good in taxation, he should work in taxation. Somebody good in the corporate field, work in corporate field, is good in advisory, he can do in advisory. Second, he can do some fun. If he is not making fun, what he's doing it.
Right, right.
It's not making sense. Even you are good into playing guitar, but after some point of time you are saying my hands are painful. I'm getting a pain in my fingers. There is no fun of playing guitar.
Correct, correct.
So money factor, what is your passion, and you are really getting fun. Fourth important thing is that are you solving any problem of community or the society really need that job?
Right,
What we are doing, if we are helping someone or any corporate or anyone, so if four things mix and then the flavor of each four things is there in your job profile, you will really get the next level. So any individual who is starting the job should understand what he's doing. He's really passionate about it,
right.
whether he's getting time to make some fun for his life, like he has a time to spend with his family or the colleagues or the friends. If he's not able to spend time with the families and colleagues, he should really think on what he's doing.
Right, right.
He's getting enough money to survive and to gain or to have a lavish life in the initial phase, and then whether he's able to contribute to the society, whether his job really demanded or is just a created job. The, if his job is really giving some value addition to someone, then he can grow.
So tell us, Gaurav, once someone has reached the leadership position of CFO and CEO, then what is next for them? What did they think to become next? And what do they aspire to reach the next level? So like CEO of different industry or CFO of different companies, or they need to do a global role. So what aspires or what is the kick?
So it's very close to my heart question. What next? Because if you reach certain level, so I would say there is no end of the world.
Right,
It's always something is happening in the world. It's always challenging activities is coming at front of you. Sometimes COVID hits, sometimes war situation arise, sometimes where your product is going, there is a tariff war is started, and your products are become unviable with the technology shift. Many companies got disappear any point of time. So it's title is should not be the race, I would say.
Okay.
The CEO can become the regional CEO,
okay,
the globe or the continent CEO, the Asian market, or the you say global CEO. Title generally people race for the title, which is also not bad, I would say, but it's if it is bringing you a new challenges. Next, for everyone has to focus on the value addition. Like if your company is running 1,000 crores revenue, how you can aim? You should have a vision to make it 5,000 crores
okay,
or 10,000 crores. Can we lift that bar? Can we take a new challenges? If we able to increase the numbers, definitely net growth is coming. Similarly for the CFOs, not to change the region just for the sake of taking a next level. Can we do the value to our profession? And again, that four factors which we discussed just before for the new people to start the things, start the
Okay.
journey, is applicable, still applicable on all hierarchy. For the CEO also, are we able to make fun of our job? Are we making value to the community? Are we making good money? So these are the combination of the four things. Are we doing what passionate us?
okay,
So all the four things is a mixture, and the next for me is basically that I can give value addition to my company. If I'm giving value addition, definitely I'm happy.
So is it more of like someone need to think change, constantly thinking about the
Yes.
change, what better I can do, what value addition I can do.
You are right, Jatin. So there is a
Yes.
powerful word is change is the only constant thing in the
Okay,
world.
okay,
Nothing is constant. Only change is constant.
constant.
So change is always required.
Okay, okay. So this is the key,
Key.
that someone need to keep on thinking that what change I need to bring on
Correct.
to day by day.
Correct. Very
Okay,
true.
okay. So this brings an end to our conversation, right?
Thank
Our
you.
discussion.
Thank you,
So
Jatin.
in last, we need to move on the rapid fire chat,
Okay.
in which you are allowed to answer in a one word.
Okay.
So your first big financial mistake.
My first big financial mistake, I would say, not to invest in cryptocurrency when it crashed. The Bitcoin, somebody was telling me, Gaurav, will you invest? I said no, because I am a firm believer of investing in the intrinsic value asset.
Okay.
I did not feel connected with Bitcoin, but still I consider it's my biggest financial mistake.
Okay. Your favorite way to unwind a day after a long day?
Always playing with my kids, sometimes chess, or sometimes going out and running with them in the grass.
Okay. One financial book which every professional should read?
One financial book, I would say Psychology of Money. It
Okay.
needs to be read by everyone because how the
Okay.
money works.
Okay. Okay. Biggest myth about being a CEO?
Biggest myth is that CEO is the boss. So it's a biggest myth because CEO has to manage many people, is not a boss.
True, true, true. Cash flow versus profitability?
In today's world, definitely cash flow is the blood flow. So cash has to be flow, then only we can survive.
Okay, okay. EBITDA versus adjusted EBITDA?
I would say EBITDA is a myth. Now we have to focus on the PAT. So
Okay,
PAT is
okay.
the right word for me.
Okay, okay, okay. So great. Thank you so much, Gaurav, and for this wonderful discussion. And thank you once again for joining us in this great initiative. Hope this will definitely create an impact and help the young professionals to choose their path.
Thank you, Mr. Jatin, for inviting me here. And then I want to thank SW India team to have a great initiative where you are hearing from the professionals for the aspiring professionals. And the message is clear for the aspiring professionals from your platform. I want to all the best to the new chartered accountants and then for their best of luck for their future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jitin.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.